Hi, Floyd Shilanski here with Plan Your Federal Retirement. Today I'm going to tackle one of the most asked questions and probably one of the most misunderstood things going around the internet today. Quote, when should you claim your Social Security? Unquote. In today's chaos, and especially with all the news and headline news about the trust shortfall and it's going to go bankrupt and will it be there when I need it and so on, it's awful confusing. So as a financial advisor that's been doing this for over 50 years, let's just kind of walk through that. Let's talk about the basics first. You can claim Social Security when you turn age 62. And sometimes I get clients that do that. They run the math and I think it's the best thing for them. They're afraid that if they don't start it, it won't be there, which is kind of a misnomer, right? My problem with filing early, unless you have a catastrophic illness and you may not anticipate living till you reach your full retirement age at probably age 67, you really ought to delay because you're going to take between a 25 and 30% hit on it. So that means if you were supposed to get $1,000 at your full retirement age, you're only going to get $700 or $800. Now, that not only affects you, but if you're married, that also affects your surviving spouse. So we have to think of those two things. I typically recommend delaying filing for Social Security until you hit your full retirement age, and we refer to that as your FRA. And probably for most of you listening, that's going to be age 67. No reductions, no bonuses. Now, the other side of the equation is let's delay this from 67 to 68, 69, or 70. That's when you'll get your biggest benefits. There's no investment advisor. There's no security guy out there that can guarantee you an 8% increase per year plus COLA on the income that you'll receive from any investment. I can't do that. Can't guarantee it. But yet Social Security is guaranteeing that. The delay between 67 and 70 is an 8% per year increase plus your cost of living allowance. Now, typically, if your FRA benefit is $2,000 a month, if you start at 62, you're probably going to get around $1,400, all right? But for $2,480 if you wait until 70. Now, that's an awful lot of money. So let's talk about the risk. Will Social Security be there in the future? Well, trust fund is projected to be depleted between 2033 and 2034. That doesn't mean the benefits disappear. If no changes are made, the benefits would drop between 70 and 80% of what's scheduled. Point here, if you were to read the original Social Security Act, it says that Social Security was designed to augmentate your personal savings and investment accounts. It was never promised to be a full retirement benefit. That's very important to understand. Now, historically, Congress refers to Social Security as, quote, the third rail. And if you're familiar with electric trains, that's the one you get electrocuted with if you touch it. So they typically wait until the last minute and preserve it. I'm telling my clients, if you're afraid of Social Security not made to provide the benefits, let's run our calculations today with a 20 to 30% reduction, okay? And then if you're comfortable with that, you're okay. If you're not comfortable with that, then we need to set aside additional funds not to rely on Social Security at retirement. Footnote, in 1979, when I started doing financial planning, no one wanted to count on Social Security. Something's happened in this time frame that we now look at it a little bit different. No, two, it's not going bankrupt, all right? It's not going to be eliminated, but there may be a reduction in benefits. Now, the pros and cons of filing. Do I file at 62 and take a permanent reduction? Do I wait till 67 or do I wait till 70? Now, at 62, you're going to get your money earlier, without a doubt. You're going to hedge against future cuts or an early death. All right, what's the cons? It's a permanent reduction of benefits, but not only for the person applying, but also for the surviving spouse. By delaying 5 years, all right, full benefits, you get a choice in. You miss out on the earlier payments, but you get more money. And then for the surviving spouse, they're going to get more money as well. And now age 70, that's when you're going to get your highest benefit, longevity hedge, if you will. Delayed gratification, but you got to have other income to bridge over between 67 or 62. Many times with our feds, what we talk about is looking at for that 3 years, 67 to 70, is withdrawing possibly from the TSP and allowing those funds to calculate up. Now, that's a math question, all right? And it depends on what you think your longevity is. If you're retiring under FERS at age 62, how does FERS Supplement fill the gap? Well, If you retire at 60 or 59, you're going to get that benefit up until you reach age 62, then it goes away. With our clients that have the FERS supplement, what we typically recommend to do is bank it. Don't rely on it. Don't build it into your spending plan. Simply bank it. And again, you got to consider spousal benefits, surviving benefits, higher of 2 benefits. Waiting may help your spouse out if you're not going to be around. I kind of like that one. All right, so now let's get into some other questions. All right, health and longevity, family history. Major health issues. If you've come from a family, been diagnosed potentially with a critical illness, that could be a good reason, all right, to start earlier. Typically, when you do that, you usually break even around age 78, all right, or 80. Marital status. Higher earners should consider delaying to protect spousal benefits. With my wife and I, what we looked at literally was, should she take 50% of mine at her full retirement age or delay till 67? Now, the difference in our case was only minuscule. It didn't make a lot of difference. But I see spouses that we have one file early, say at 67, to draw 50% of the spousal benefits and convert that at age 70. Cash flow needs. Do you need the money? All right. Can you delay taking Social Security to optimize your benefits? Now, something happens here. Then we talk about, do you need the money or are you financially independent? So many times when my clients start drawing Social Security at 67 or at 70, it moves them to a little higher tax bracket, all right? And moving that higher tax bracket may affect what they pay for Medicare Part B, which is referred to as IRMA, I-R-M-M-A. Now, that's also compounded when you hit age 73 or 74, and you have to start taking out your required minimum distributions. Extremely important that you've got to look outside of the normal range of what you think we know about Social Security and do a cash flow analysis. Do a tax analysis to make sure that you're not being hurt further in the future by delaying or taking it early. Finally, as I wrap this thing up, Social Security is a personal decision. The right answer of your neighbor or the person across that you work with in the cubicle may not be the one for you. Each of us are individuals, have individual needs. So if you're retiring soon and trying to figure out, connect with a professional. Log on, ask to speak to one of the advisors that plan your federal retirement. We can talk to you specifically about FERS and TSP, the supplement, how it all fits together. Now, if you listened to the podcast before, we're all about action. So if you found this helpful, please subscribe to, right here on the webpage, your federal retirement program. All right. Drop a comment. Remember that we want to help people, help 1 million Fed retirees, all right, successfully move on into retirement. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to write, call, or drop an email. Floyd Shilanski with Plan Your Federal Retirement, and we'll talk again soon.